just come off an amazing lesson with one of my students, Bob, where he gained almost 40 extra yards with his driver. But get this, he'd been trying to gain yardage by actually swinging longer. All that did was basically get him hitting it everywhere and gain no yardage. I actually shortened his swing to almost a half swing and we gained all of that yardage. Now that's really, really important for you because stats from ShotScope tell us that if I can help you gain 5, 10, 15, 20 yards, you will lower your handicap, lower your scores. You'll naturally play better golf. So in this video, I want to share with you the drill I gave Bob because I think it can basically help any golfer at all. But before I do, if you're new to the channel, it's one of your first lessons of mine, please consider subscribing. Release videos like this every single week to try and help you improve your game. Plus, you never have to remember a thing. I'll always put a free download practice guide in the description box below. Right, before I get into the drill, you're going to want to know, well, what creates a good long drive that goes straight? It is incredibly simple. And I'm going to use a football as a guideline here, just so it's more visual for you. So it's really simple. The ball doesn't care what your golf swing looks like. All it cares about is how this golf club is being delivered into the back of it. Now, if you want to hit a ball a long way, it's really simple. If you want to hit it straight, the club face has to come back, not at an angle, it has to arrive at that golf ball completely square, right there. Now it needs to also, common sense, needs to arrive at the golf ball smack in the middle of that golf ball if you want to hit a dead straight shot. And with a driver, we want to launch the ball up in the air, so we're going to hit slightly below the equator of that golf ball, yep? This will give you a high straight shot. So how do you add the power to this? All you then got to do is, it's very simple. The amount of energy that this club is attacking into that golf ball will determine how far you hit it. Not rocket science, right? So you have to have a swing that basically achieves that. Now, Bob didn't. What Bob had, and this is, I see this so often with a lot of golfers, he would have a shot that sets off left of target with a great big slice. It was very, very low, sliced off to the right. Every so often, it would also sky. So the very first question I want you to ask yourself, and I asked Bob this, was, Bob, where are you hitting on the golf ball for you to create this shape? And he goes, must be here. And I went, yes. So you're hitting basically this side of the golf ball with a club face that's open. So what you're doing is you're coming across the ball like this, and this is creating the spin on that ball that sets it around. But not just that. What about the height of your shot, Bob? Well, Dan, it's going really, really low. So what have you done then to the loft on your driver? You have come down on it. Absolutely, I see this a lot. So not only are you hitting on this side of the golf ball, you're also hitting right on top of it, almost above the equator. So now there's no real loft on that driver. So not only are you hitting it with a slice, you're hitting it with no flight. This is costing you so much yardage, and to some degree, it's probably the fault that I see with most golfers who are struggling to hit driver straight and struggling to hit driver long. So I basically said to him, well, now you know where you are, we've got to help you, look, move your impact from over here, look, around here, so now we can get right into the back of that golf ball. So here's how we helped him to start with step number 1. So if you can, pause the video and go and grab a golf club, because this will be incredibly valuable. And I want you to picture a golf ball right in front of you, right here. And this is what I said to Bob. Right, Bob, we want to move you, look, from hitting this side of the golf ball to more this side of the golf ball, okay? So I want you to now put the club out in front of you, and I want you to look at your setup position here. Are your forearms in a position to hit this side of the golf ball, maybe more this side? And straight away he went, oh my God, Danny, this left arm here and the right arm was angled, his forearms are angled this way, and he didn't even realize. And immediately, without me even saying it, he went, boom. And his forearms and look at the whole body shape. As he worked to try to hit from this side of the golf ball to more around this side, look at the shape he starts to move his body in. This was a brilliant step number 1. Getting him now to move his body and set up in such a way that would hit the correct part of the golf ball. Look at this. He'd been set up like this without realizing. Now his forearms and there's his body is moving around the ball, look, to now look, now he's in a position at setup to give him the best chance of hitting right there in the back of that golf ball. So the question now is you're in a setup to hit the ball in the correct position to generate that power. How do you make a golf swing to actually achieve that? And this is what Bob found just incredibly simple. All I said to him was, look, right, now you've got the image, you're trying to hit this part of the golf ball here. Make me a backswing that gives you the best chance of doing that. Do you know what he did? He swung all the way back and he stopped about half the distance of his normal golf swing. He said, Danny, that feels pretty short, but that feels like the best place for me to deliver this power. And the reason being is he doesn't have the flexibility of a tour player. So a tour player would go here and then continue turning. Why? Because they've got that flexibility. What Bob was doing, and I see this with so many amateur golfers, is he'd set up here, they'd get to about a position where this would be the best place for him, but now because he felt as though he needed to hit it further, he would now lift his arms up, he'd spread his elbows out, get quite chicken wingy, and go up here, and now he's completely gone. Now he would chop down the golf ball, he would hit the outside of the golf ball. No way could he hit this with any power. So all he did was go, this is my best place down here, I think, to hit that ball where I need to hit it. So that's where we'll start, and that's where we'll start with you. Clearly, if you can swing longer, you do it. But do you know what? For most people, just keeping that swing nice and short, you will be amazed at how much energy and consistency you can put into the back of this golf ball. Just take a look at this. I'm going to swing quite short here. I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to bring that club look back into that golf ball there. Let's see what we can do. So short, through. Let's have a look at where this ball goes. So look at that there. I mean, at 280 yards, with what feels for me like an incredibly, incredibly short golf swing. Now I gave this to Bob. Immediately, his balls went higher, they went straighter, but they did go a little bit out to the right. So it wasn't a slice, it wasn't like he was doing before. So his previous shot looked something like this. He'd been set up like this, he'd hit the outside of the golf ball, and it looked like this. Very, very low, very, very cutty motions. Look at that there. Not quite as low as that, but you can see here, it'd be go low to the ground, wouldn't be any distance whatsoever. So it was already a massive improvement. But we got him hitting the correct part of the golf ball, but I needed him to hit the ball much, much straighter. So now what I did is we got him hitting the correct part of the golf ball, but his club face was a little bit open at impact. He needed to build the skill of squaring it. So this is what I gave him. And if you're a slicer, you're going to absolutely love this. So this is what Bob and so many golfers fall into the trap of. His forearms were angled here and his wrists were turned here, and this was impact for him, right? Now, great ball strikers are completely opposite. Notice this. We got his forearms to here and his wrists are turned the other way. It's a completely different pattern. This is a pattern of great, great ball strikers. I'll do this again so you can see it. Look at this. Forearms angled wrongly this way, wrists turned this way, leads to slices. Notice this. We're going to square up those forearms and we're going to turn the wrists in the opposite direction. So I got him to kind of feel this pattern here and got him in a sense now to kind of sense this was the motion we wanted, not the other way around. Now, son, look at this. When he now moves around the golf ball here, look at this, as opposed to having the wrists open here, where if he did hit this part of the golf ball, the ball would go out to the right, I got him to feel, look, those wrists just angled more this way, so now we could come in and we could start to, if anything, we could even start to create beautiful draws from right to left. So let's now help you build the skill to hit straighter, longer drives with a shorter golf swing. So look, I'm going to try and help you hit a draw actually at the moment. We'll move to kind of straight shots in a second. So to hit a draw, we need to hit more of the inside of this golf ball. It's the opposite to a slice. We're going to move, you look, set ourselves up to a draw here. Now we've got the inside line, brilliant. Then I'm going to set the face, just close it a little bit. Feel those wrists working this way a little bit now, just to kind of feel that face ready to go. And I promise you a short swing. So I'm going to swing just to here, because that's going to give me the best chance to come right into the back of that golf ball. Let's see this in action. 1, 2, let's have a look. Should be a nice little draw. Look at that there, look, beautiful little draw coming back to the fairway. And 285 yards with what you probably see is a very, very short swing. Now, if we have a look, I'll get this tee in the ground in a second. If we have a look at this swing direction here, 9.7, that means my swing circle is a little bit out to the right. Great if you want to hit a draw, maybe inside here, but probably a bit excessive. So the whole point with this exercise, and this is what I said to Bob, is it's about building the skill of working around the ball. I did it too much there. All I would do now is make a golf swing. I'd maybe set myself up a bit more this way to hit now more bang into the golf ball here. So let's look at this in action. So I'm going to hit this one a little bit straighter. And that should be naturally, there you go, look, much straighter golf shot. Look, swing circle now has shifted around. Why? Because I'm intending to hit much more this side of the golf ball. That's a skill that you have to build. And that's what I said to Bob. Play around with working yourself around here. And make sure that you only swing to a length that you're flexible enough to keep. So many people, look at this. You've got this beautiful arm structure going back here with all the wrists, club face ready to go. But then what happens is then you start to kind of bend those wrists just to kind of complete your swing. The club comes down, face wide open, and you've got a slice. Stretch those angles out, keep it nice and short here. If you've got the rotation, then yes, rotate, but don't spoil it by using it with your arms. Bring that club around, and you're going to hit much straighter and longer shots. And like I said, Bob gained almost 40 yards with a swing that was so much shorter. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you do have the flexibility, by the way, to swing longer, check this video out right here. It's an absolute belter for understanding what to do here to get even more yardage with your driver. I'll put a free download of practice guide in the description box below. But until next week, have a wonderful golfing week.